Okay.
Okay.
Real quickly, can you just tell us what's going on with the border wall? Because it sure is working.
Absolutely. I tell you, Steve, there's so many false narratives that are out there. This past couple of years, in the face of advocates, naysayers saying we'd never get this done, lower court, what I've referred to as judicial activism, time and time again trying to stop it. This president has maintained his resolve and his steadfast commitment, not just to the men and women of CBP, but to this country. When he first got into office, even before, he went to the border. He went there and actually asked the men and women, what do you need? And one of the things that they said, among other things, is the tools we needed was a wall system, and this president has delivered. Right now, we've got over 320 miles of wall system in the ground along the southwest border in strategic locations, and I have no doubt that by the end of this year, we're going to meet our goal that we've set since day one of 450 miles of wall, and that has exponentially increased our operational capability to safeguard this country. And again, those are facts that I can back up.
How are the guys on the border? The guys are there every day, because I know they had to be so down several years ago before the president came in. Are they feeling better about their jobs now?
They are, and this is what I'll say. Even in the middle of this absolute disgusting rhetoric that's out there about the law enforcement community, and you're right. So it started against the Border Patrol specifically, even before the current divisive rhetoric that we have right now about the law enforcement in general. But here's the difference, and it makes a difference, and it starts from the top, from the President of the United States. He has been very clear and very committed that in fact, I've been there where he's actually said how he actually said the president loves the law enforcement community. That is powerful. So even when you're being attacked, and even when your job is tough, and even when you're sacrificing so much, if you know that the leadership, the president of the United States believes in you and supports you, it makes all the difference in the world. And I can tell you, because I've been there. I've been on the front lines before, and I've been there where administrations didn't support law enforcement, and when administrations do, and it makes a world of difference.
Well, Mark, all I got to say is we got to get rid of that acting. You were so great for this job. It fits you perfect. And, we're going to have you back again. We'll have more time to talk. But I got to tell you, I love what you're doing for this country. And thank you for your service.
Well, I appreciate it, and anytime you want me back, I'll be there, because it's so important that your listeners actually hear the truth, and that they they don't hear politics being put above public safety. So anytime.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mark, again.
You bet. Take care.
That was Mark, Commissioner, U.S. Customs and Border Protection. He's such a great man. We are so lucky to have him. We'll be right back.
So 3 years ago, there were some beautiful women that if I called their agent up, whatever time I needed them, they were there. 3 years ago. Then they became big shots. They opened up for the president. Now you call them and they'd say, well, I can get you in at 3:20 a.m. for 6 minutes, or on a Sunday at 5:25 for 4 minutes. You guys are very popular. Very.
Wow.
Diamond and Silk is speechless? I can't believe
No,
it.
look, I'm just listening to you do the introduction, Steve.
Yeah.
Now, we didn't mean to go out here and get famous.
Right.
But it's all for a good cause. We want people to be pro-America and stand up for our flag.
That's right.
So just understand that.
Okay, so I'm just going to start off with some lady who was having her hair done the other day that didn't think she needed to wear a mask, and it's not her fault. Let's start off with her.
Yeah, isn't it hypocritical?
Very.
You know, these people, I said it on another show, they have their feet on our necks. You're telling us what we can and can't do it, and can and can't do, and you're not even following those rules your own self.
That's right.
You know, how old is Nancy? Is she almost 100 years old? It's time for people like her to step down. We're getting really tired of this here.
That's right.
These people have literally flattened people's livelihoods, and they feel like they have a sense of entitlement. She can waltz up in a salon, not wear her mask, when she kept telling everybody mask, mask, mask. Okay, and then I think we supposed to look the other way. We all have got to call Miss Nancy Pelosi out.
That's right.
She is a liar and she is a hypocrite. And when I see her, who's an elderly person who is in the most vulnerable category, not wearing her mask, then I'm wondering, is this as serious as they're trying to make it out to be?
That's right.
How about all the people who can't work that she is keeping out of work because she won't come in and negotiate? And here she is. You know, you're not supposed to blow dry your hair in California. It's against the law. And that's what she was having done.
Oh, I didn't even know that, but she should have washed her hair in the shower and did a dry shampoo at home instead of walking up in that salon. It's an insult. It's a slap in business owners' face because it makes us feel like you must have a sense of entitlement. It's the same way she was standing in front of that $20,000 refrigerator eating on ice cream that cost almost $20. Like people were in food lines trying to get food. But this is who is running that house up there, and these are the type of people that need to be voted out.
They got to go.
These people need to be voted out Congress. Congress is the ones that write the rules, and they sitting somewhere home. Why you got to go get your hair done? You ain't working no way.
So
she looked just as well. Look, she didn't look no better than she did before she got the hair done.
That's right.
Unbelievable. She, you know what she said one time? They were talking about why they shouldn't build the wall. And she said, just cut the grass so you can see them. I went, huh? What is she talking about?
But see, when you have Nancy Pelosi that having a clue, that is clueless, and she has lost touch with the American people. At 80 years old, she need to take her old behind somewhere and sit down.
That's right.
Zip it. I don't want her telling us what to do no more. I don't believe nothing she say. She is a liar. She can't tell me to wear a mask. I'm going to follow your lead. I ain't going to wear one because you didn't have one on.
That's right.
You should lead by example. And what you're telling America is not to take this serious.
But it was so good to see the lie behind the mask.
She comes down the president for not wearing a mask.
I mean, just look at her. I mean, but see, whenever we as American citizens allow this and people like this to dictate to us how we need to be, we're going to get this. It's do as I say, not as I do. You know, a mask for D, but not for me. It's basically what she is saying. So we got to continue to call hypocritical people like that out.
And vote them out.
That's right.
I'm tired of them running our country. They're running it to the ground. And a lot of this stuff that they're doing is designed to hurt the president of the United States for no reason.
That's right.
Because they want power.
That's right. Because if you remember before this pandemic, scamdemic, whatever you want to call it, President Trump had this economy at an all-time greatness. Ever. They had it. And see, the Democrats didn't know how they was going to take and swindle this here when it comes down to Jim Crow Joe. So now what they had to do, they see, okay, this is another way we can take and keep this country locked down. So that now we can say that the unemployment is at an all-time high. But look at where's the unemployment being at an all-time high? What cities and what states is that in? Democrat-ran cities.
That's right.
Why? Because those governors in Democrat-ran states and cities are keeping their states closed.
That's right.
So imagine if they will open it back up. They open it back up, then they can't report unemployment.
Are you doing a lot of traveling now throughout the United
States? We're doing
States?
some traveling, but you know, a lot of that got cut because of the pandemic.
Right.
When you go to certain states, they have rules and regulations. So we've been using our platform. You know, we have a new show now on Newsmax TV called Crystal Clear, Diamond and Silk Crystal Clear, that airs every Saturday night at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have a podcast that comes out every Thursday. I'm giving people our thoughts. We're still using our social media platform as much as they'll let us use it without them stifling our reach and still trying to censor our voices. So yes, that's how we're getting the word out. And we pop up at 1 or 2 campaigns every now and again. We were just at the White House the other day when the president gave the magnificent speech about how he want to bring this country, continue to bring it to greatness. So
and not only that, we have our own social media platform.
Yes,
called Chatdit, ChatDit.com for people to go to if they want to keep up with Diamond and Silk. And we also have our phenomenal book, Uprising. Who the hell said you can't ditch and switch? The Awakening of Diamond and Silk, and you can go and get that book at diamondandsilkbook.com.
So we've been very, very busy.
Very busy.
So I'm going to throw something at you because, you know, people love you. When you were at the Broward Center down here, there were people who were Democrats who goes, "Who are those ladies?" And we would explain to them, you have no idea how many followers and people who love you. What happened at Fox?
Oh, we write about it in the book. Get the book. We write about it in the last chapter. It is the truth. We have the receipts as our proof. Get the book at diamondandsilkbook.com because we write about it. And the one thing I want people to understand, we are not here to disparage Fox. We tell our truth in the book. Understand that there are people over there that we highly respect, that we still love, and we respect their opinions, and we want to leave it like that. And oftentimes the left-wing media try to put us against each other, and we shouldn't allow that to happen. But I want you to get the book, diamondandsilkbook.com, read the last chapter, and we tell you everything that happened.
Good for you. Tell me something. What do you say about defunding of police department? Because I got to tell you something, all my friends tell me they don't want the police department defunded. They want more.
Well, you know, I think it's the crazy thing when people want to defund the police. Okay, so if you get rid of the police, who you going to call? Because you can't pick up the phone and call Black Lives Matter.
Or Ghostbusters.
Yeah, you got to pick up the phone. You dial 911 to call for a police officer who's going to come out and protect and serve. What are you saying to these low-income communities, to communities that have elderly people that need that type of help? What do you say to them when you talk about you want to defund? You want them to be victim and victimized in their homes and in their communities, which is so sad. We need our police officers, and they need to be protected. You listen. We already know that there are bad apples in every bunch, and we can also say that some of these officers may choke. That's because they are afraid.
Fear.
You push them into fear. They don't know how to act or react. And then, as a citizen, you should respect law and order. And if you're given an order, follow an order.
That's right.
I think that would cut out all of the other stuff. But if they got to trace you around, you done beat the police, you done took the taser from the police and tased the police, tell me what the heck are they supposed to do?
That's right. And don't go around here committing all of these crimes where the police have to be called on you.
Right. So I think that we have to get to an understanding that respect is given if you want respect back. You can't expect for nobody to respect you and you disrespecting them all over the place. That's not how it works.
That's right.
So when it comes to defunding the police, we need our police. It's time to refund the police, give them their jobs back, and let them know that they're doing a good job protecting and serving our country. Because at the end of the day, they want to go home to their families too.
And can I just say one thing? When you talk about defunding the police, defunding means removing money from the police where other, police officers will get fired. But where does that money go?
Right.
Where do they reallocate that money is the question. Who's getting a kickback and a paddywhack? I need to know which dog is being given a bone.
That's right.
Do you know that domestic violence is the worst call a police officer can go on? It's the most dangerous call, and they want to put like a group of counselors to go to
No.
I mean, to go to a domestic violence rather than the police.
when you have somebody where the energy is so high that they are acting belligerent, it's not the time for a counselor.
No.
You may need a police officer, somebody to protect and serve.
That's right.
You have to put a line of defense there to let the person that's on this higher belligerent behavior know that their behavior is not going to be tolerated and it have to be calmed down. But this is what the left-leaning liberals want.
That's
They're
right.
doing everything in their power to destroy our great country. And it is so sad. This is why you all have to vote for Trump.
Yeah.
you're from
a lot
North
of people
Carolina.
also see-
You're from North Carolina.
Yes.
Right?
Is Trump going to take North Carolina this year?
Trump is going to take North Carolina.
Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me if he wouldn't flip every state red.
Every state.
Yeah, people ain't putting up with this.
Yes.
Do you think we actually gonna vote for Jim Crow Joe, who's been in office for 47 years in government? What makes you think he gonna do it in 4 years? If he couldn't do it in 47 years, look at his record.
Right.
Now compare his record to President Trump's record. Now tell me which one makes sense.
That's right.
I'm not giving up my low taxes, my low unemployment for high taxes and high unemployment up under Jim Crow Joe, Biden. Absolutely not. So when you look at this, you better look into
Yep.
who this man is.
That's right.
Every time he opens up his mouth, he echoes the sentiments of bigotry and racism.
That's right.
I'm not going for any of that.
Okay, here's the hardest question you will ever get. I want you to think about it.
Okay.
Who are you voting for? Now think
I'm
about
voting
it.
for.
Look,
You don't have to think about that.
Listen, that's right.
know.
I'm voting for Donald J. Trump.
That's right.
And what I want to say to everybody, if you are on the fence, because you don't know, I want you to get off the fence and walk through the gate, hop on the Trump train and vote for President Donald J. Trump.
That's right.
I didn't ask you to like him. I told you to vote for him
That's right.
because his policies is going to benefit you.
So make sure you vote right so you won't get left.
so
Vote red.
Let's tell everybody about your TV
remove
show.
every Democrat.
So let's tell again everybody about your show, your book, and your podcast.
Okay, the podcast come on every Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can find the podcast, Diamond and Silk, the podcast on Apple, Stitcher, Spotify, or anywhere you get your podcast. We have a show called Diamond and Silk Crystal Clear on Newsmax TV that comes on 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every Saturday. You can find us over there. Also, you all, our book, Uprising. Who the hell said you can't ditch and switch? The Awakening of Diamond and Silk. You can get that at Diamond and Silk Book or anywhere they sell books. We have our own social media platform called Chatdit. ChatDit.com.
That's right.
Y'all, you can go on and you can Google that and you can find that and sign up for that. Or just Google Diamond and Silk. Follow and like all of our social media platforms.
Well, I've got to tell you, I love you. I've had since the first day. We got to take Florida. Florida is very important, and I want to have you guys back on again because Florida. If we don't get Florida, forget about it. I mean, it's going to be bad if we don't get Florida.
Yeah, well, I'm hearing that people from like places like New York is moving there. But listen,
Yes.
you have to get out and talk to people. Talk to people. Sometimes we could be preaching to the choir. So if you don't see Diamond and Silk in the forefront, we're in the underground.
That's right.
There's an uprising going on in the underground, baby.
That's right.
And these people are voting for Trump. So instead of us preaching to the choir, we don't went out there and got more choir members.
That's right.
We need more choir members.
Singing the same tune.
Make America great again for this president, President Donald J. Trump.
That's right.
God bless. Thank you so much for your time, and we're going to definitely see you again, hopefully next month. God bless.
Yes.
Yes. God bless.
Thank you for having us.
Some of America's top names in politics, and call in with your comments at 888-565-1470. And now, here's Steve-O.
You've got the Politically Right Show. I'm host Steve-O. Boy, do we have a great interview today. We have Mrs. Trump. That's Laura Trump on with us today. and we are going to be talking about women's issues, and I have a few of my own. So sit back. We've got so many people from Washington, D.C. that are going to be coming on our show over the next 2 months. We actually got a call on this from the White House saying we would like for you to bring Lara on the show today. So sit back and enjoy the interview. The traveling you're doing, you're in Florida today.
I'm in Florida, yeah. I'm in North Carolina tomorrow. I was in Pennsylvania yesterday. So yeah, we're traveling a lot.
Okay, so the last thing, and we're going to talk about women's issues with the president. You were on with me about maybe a year ago, and I've never been on a call that I felt so bad about. I'm from Texas. And when you say, bless your heart in Texas, if my mom falls, I'm going to say, oh, bless your heart. But on the East Coast, it's not nice to say. And I felt so bad after we hung up. But anyway, it's bothered me ever since.
Don't worry.
So
that is so funny.
I
Don't
know.
worry.
So listen, we've got to take Florida. What is this stuff?
Absolutely.
What is this stuff that women aren't going to be voting for President Trump?
Oh, well, that's totally ridiculous, by the way. They tried to say this in 2016, right? Because they thought that we'd all vote for Hillary Clinton because we're women, and why wouldn't we vote for someone of the same gender? Totally ridiculous. There's a bigger contingency of the silent majority now than 2016, absolutely guaranteed. I think we're going to see that on Election Day on November 3rd.
So, I was really worried for about 5 minutes. And after everything I've seen, I'm like, what am I worried about? But what I am worried about is these mail-in votes. I got to tell you, I am worried about those.
Yeah, well, there's a lot going on right now, and I think the reality is the Democrats have realized that it's going to be very hard, if not impossible, to beat a president like Donald Trump, who has such an incredible track record. Promises made and promises kept is not just a campaign slogan; it's actually what he has done. So now, what have we seen? We've seen that they are trying, and they started this with 90 days to go in an election to try and totally change the election system by mailing out to every person in the country millions of these mail-in ballots. You have no idea who is actually filling them out, who is sending them in. It's much different than absentee voting, where you have to request a ballot, where you have to have a signature or verification of the individual that actually filled that ballot out and who they are. We saw that in North Carolina, there was a cat that had been dead for 12 years named Cody Timms, who got a mail-in ballot. This is the problem with these things. Among many other issues, it's ripe for voter fraud. People could send in multiple mail-in ballots and go vote at a polling location. The possibilities are endless. So this is just trickery from the Democrats. It's a way to rip off the American people. And it's why the president has been very strongly advocating for absentee, but against the universal mail-in voting. It's very, very dangerous.
What are you going to tell mothers that have little kids about sending their kids to school?
Well, I happen to be one of those mothers.
Yes.
I have a son who's turning 3 this month, and he will be going back to school. He started last year a couple of days a week, and he's going 5 days a week this year, and he will be going back to school. And I am 100% on board and excited for him to go to school, because when you look at the statistics, and this is what people need to start doing, we need to stop listening to the fear-based media. They have tried to terrify every parent in this country. What you realize is that the seasonal flu is actually much more dangerous to children, and especially to young children, than COVID ever has been and ever will be. So we know that every year we don't shut down schools, we don't keep kids home because of the flu. Why would we now be doing it because of coronavirus? There is a safe way that children can go back to school, and we know how detrimental it would be if we kept them home, whether you're talking about the education they're missing out on, whether you're talking about, especially for young children, the socialization aspect. That's how kids, especially young children, learn, is by socializing with their peers. We know that there are millions of children in this country whose only source of real nutrition in a day comes from the lunches that they get at school. child abuse and learning deficiencies are often identified by teachers and staff at a school well before a parent would be able to identify those things. There are so many reasons specifically related to children that they should go back. But then you think about the fact that parents oftentimes cannot go back to work if their child is not in school. So when we're talking about a single parent, think about having to make that decision. Do I go to work so that I can feed and care for my family, or do I stay home because my kid has to do at-home learning? It's very, very difficult. The kids have to go back to school. The president has been pushing for that, and we know there's a safe way to get it done.
Okay, final question. Now, this is a hard question, and then we're going to let you go. Who are you going to be voting for in November? Think about it now. Don't just jump into it.
I don't want to. Well, I've thought long and hard about this, and I will tell you, there is no other person for whom I would ever cast a vote than President Donald Trump. When you see that this is a man that didn't need this job, that works tirelessly for the American people, that will do whatever it takes to make sure that this country stays the beacon of hope and freedom of any country around the world, that the American dream is allowed to thrive and prosper here. That is President Donald Trump. And you see on the other side, Joe Biden advocating for socialism, the Trojan horse for the far left radical socialists in the Democrat Party. By the way, the most far left-leaning socialist ticket in the history of American politics, with the addition of Kamala Harris on there too. So I don't want a bankrupt country. I don't want open borders and defunded police departments. I want safety, security, and prosperity for all. That's why I'll be voting for President Donald Trump.
Well, Mrs. Trump, I got to tell you, I wish you would have thought about it a little bit longer, but we didn't have. You know what? I understand. I see why you are a senior advisor, because I love when you come on, whether it's Fox or whatever it is. Thank you for coming on today, and please, we got to have Florida. You got to come back. You got to promise me.
Oh, don't worry. You're going to get very tired of seeing Trumps in Florida. We'll be canvassing the state from now until November 3rd.
Well, I love you. You're the best. Tell Eric hi. He's been on our show many of times. And please, God bless.
Thank you so much. Great to be with you.
Thank you. Wow, that was Lara Trump. I thought she would think a little bit longer about who she was going to vote for. But she is such a good spokesperson. And you imagine, she does like 30 or 40 of these a day. Do you imagine how much energy you've got to have to do this 30 or 40 times a day? Anyhow, I hope you've enjoyed the interview. We've got so many more interviews coming. This is the Politically Right Show. I'm host Steve O, and we are going to be bringing you some big, big names.
Thanks for tuning in to the Politically Right Show with host Steve O. We hope you enjoyed today's show. Tune in Mondays and Thursdays for more Politically Right with host Steve O.